Welcome everybody to another episode of Multiplayer. I am your host, Guillermo, and today with me are my co-hosts, cybernetic, reformed, remastered, back from the dead, Zack Matzganis.
I have risen!
And to his left, we have the reanimated corpse of Javier Ortiz.
That actually fits perfect with the game we're going to talk about. He is risen.
Guys, how does it feel to be out of the ground and back on set?
If I feel like a zombie.
It's a whole new world.
Perfect.
I don't know what to think anymore.
I mean, I don't know how to act now that we have a full cast of people. Like, I have been holding the show together. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, but welcome back, guys. It's finally good to have the whole multiplayer cast. We also have Nathan. His name's not Nathan, it's Nath. We have Nath and Mick back there as well. It's gonna feels great with the cat there. We have lots of things to talk about.
We got everything.
Everything. First of all, guys, though, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want to remind you that we also have a podcast that you can go on iTunes and Google Play and listen to that on the go. And for you guys who are listening to the podcast, you can also go to our YouTube channel at Multiplayer, youtube.com/multiplayer. And you can also watch this there. And we also have a Patreon page that you can go and check out as well. You can also help and donate to the show and get extra content just for doing so. But hey, even if you don't, it's good to have your eyes on the page and come back here to watch all the free content that we're giving to you now. Boom! Here's what's happening today. First of all, Javier, I know you're excited to talk about something. You've been playing a little game lately. I wanted to see what you think about that.
It's going to kick off the show just like that? All right.
I think so. Why not? You already brought it up. You already referenced it.
I did. So Fight of Gods, which is a PC game on Steam right now for only $5. A little bit less than $5.
Only $5.
Only $5. But it actually, there's a little feedback from Malaysia for that game.
Well, tell me about the game first of all, because I've only seen a trailer.
Okay, so the game is really simple. It's basically a classic side-scroll fighting game like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Sure.
But instead of funny characters, you play as gods and deities from different religions and mythologies and stuff. So it's got Jesus. It's got Buddha. It's got Odin.
It's got all the wacky players that you know and love.
It's got all those wacky characters.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have my favorite god, the Easter Bunny.
No,
That's
it
a
doesn't.
god, right?
Well,
Well, it's also missing Santa Claus. But who knows? They might be DLC someday.
we're trudging on weird waters here. No, so there's this fighting game where you can play all these deities and they fight each other. I assume a very violent, aggressive way.
I mean, it's don't think of Mortal Kombat. Like, there's not like blood or ripping out spines. There's none of that. It's basically, it's fighting, and then when you win, they just get knocked out. It's very very simple. And like again, it's a super indie game, so like. The mechanics aren't as fleshed out as like an MKX game, or Street Fighter V. But it's just really funny watching, like, because Jesus, his intro sequence is like, he's on the cross and he like rips off his arms while the wood is still nailed to him. So he's just got two wooden blocks and just like this, like ready to fight.
Which beating people with a broken stick.
And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, all right, this game's like, oh my god, that's awesome. Like when I saw like Jesus' intro, I was like, that's kind of amazing.
It's badass.
But apparently, Malaysia now, the Malaysian government has banned Steam from their servers in Malaysia.
So Malaysia is very strict when it comes to, especially religion. It's a very strict.
I mean, a lot of people are. Touchy subject.
Right, and which is weird because. If I'm
it's
not
just religion.
Well, no, it's not that.
No,
it's if I'm not mistaken, Malaysia is mostly Islam, and there's no Muhammad's.
Well, they consider Jesus and Moses.
That's true.
Jesus
and Moses
are
part of the. Thank
God that there's not Muhammad in the game, because that would be,
I think that would have been a.
But the game, you can't play it, and they shut down the Steam servers in Malaysia, so like Steam players in Malaysia just can't play like games.
Yeah, which and like. To that right, there have been a lot of games banned for a multitude of reasons over the years and stuff like that. And, everyone has their reasons to do so. This one is a little, not the reason for the banning. I think the game is a little bit, it's poking fun at something that's a very touchy subject.
It is. Look at this cat.
Yeah, it's trying to like bring levity to a more serious thing, but maybe not in the best way possible.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, this comes down to stuff about like freedom of speech and all that shit. Like remember, we're talking about these things as U.S. citizens, where we have a lot more different rights and government policies are different here. But yeah, Malaysia is like super strict. Like they even banned the movie Babe because it depicts a pig as as the main character.
But they're filthy creatures, so.
Oh, but they're delicious.
but Babe, like he's. I think he like saved the city or something. I don't know what happened.
There's a few things he did. I mean, I think there's multiple Babe movies.
Sheep, apparently.
Yeah. But no, getting back to the game though, it's actually kind of silly and fun. Like a lot of the characters, I think there's only 8 if I'm not mistaken, and it's got like some really cool finishing moves. At one character, Buddha. I mentioned you earlier. Like
one of my favorite sentence of all time now. I'm gonna start. He said it before the show started. He says. Buddha is badass. He's got some dope combos or something.
Some nasty ass combos.
Some nasty ass combos.
Yeah. Jeez.
I've never heard anybody talk about Buddha that way.
Yeah, he's like, you can watch him juggle Zeus. And I was like, oh my god.
Well, you get Buddha cornering an opponent, it's just like, he just juggles them all day. Because he's got this spin attack. It's really badass. But he's got a cool finisher where, like, I don't know, I'm not an expertise in, like, I don't have expertise in, different deities and religions.
How dare you.
But, like, I don't know if his hand is a big deal in his religion.
His
yeah.
Well, his pin is strong in this game.
It's like, it's a simple, like, that's in every depiction of, like, Buddha, he always has, like...
I know that. I didn't know that was a thing, though. I thought that... So, like, his...
I thought it was just a tick that he had. Like,
his finisher is, like, a giant hand that comes down at your opponent like that. It's pretty cool.
No.
Well,
yeah, I'm glad the game exists. It's good that their developers are, like, wanting to kind of skim around boundaries and maybe if things are more controversial. This isn't a game like Manhunt where things are just ridiculously violent, stuff like that. So it's always nice that the art mediums are taking a little further and experimenting with different subjects and stuff like that. But I also understand where Malaysia is coming from as well. And so apparently the developers are as well. They went on record saying like, we respect Malaysia for the reasons that they wanted to block the game. But we apologize, but we're not gonna take the game off. But if you guys want to ban it, then that's fine with us.
Valve's trying to work stuff out with the Malaysian government, right?
Right. Yeah.
So get all that worked out. But I think the most interesting thing with this whole story, it's like, and I'm assuming that I haven't looked at the company that whatever the indie developer is that made that game and how many people there are. But I'm sure it's
P-Cube.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a small crew.
Yeah,
I would guess so, anyways. And just the fact that like a few people can just shut down Valve in a whole country is
it's pretty awesome.
Like that's I mean it's pretty amazing.
Good to them.
It's just,
good on you.
So it's like if you want to shut Valve down, just make that a really offensive game.
Religion. Just religion. I mean,
this isn't the first time that like Valve has had like to take things off of like their site. There's been some games. Actually, I was recently looking up too that there's some games that depicted like the whole point of playing the game was to get women to have sex with you, and you like get these like cutscenes of like basically pornographic cutscenes. Yeah. People went up in arms about that. Personally, awesome. No, but like
played that game like 20 times.
Yeah, Steam. I'm joking, but Valve is like kind of this is not the first time this has kind of happened. So they're ready to take on whatever they have to do to make everyone happy. And
I'm sure it's tough because I mean they have indie games just flooding onto that onto Steam like every single day now.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't remember the number. I think it's a pretty big number every day.
It's high. It's a high one.
It's definitely past 10.
When you can buy games for like 45 cents, and it's like soda drinking simulator, literally a real thing. You just walk around, you drink in like a DOS environment. There's a whole slew of games. But what on the other side of that spectrum from indie games, there are also some games that are coming out now and some that are being rumored to come out. One AAA developer, Bethesda, is actually hinting at a game that's should be releasing pretty shortly that's not been announced at any at Gamescom, at PAX, at E3. They missed all those opportunities, and they're pretty tight-lipped about this whole thing.
Yeah, I read that article and I was like, I don't know what game they could possibly come out with in 2017 still that they haven't announced. I mean that it's like they seem to have like they have Evil Within 2, they have DLC for Dishonored 2 coming out.
Yep.
They have the VR stuff for
Doom and Skyrim.
Fallout and and what'd you say?
Doom. I said Skyrim. That would be awesome. But
Skyrim for Switch.
Doom and Fallout for sure.
Yeah, and that the Skyrim Switch version and what else do they have? Oh, they have Quake Champions coming out.
Yeah.
They like have everything coming out in 2017. So like,
what else is left?
I don't know.
It's got to be like another mobile game, like Fallout Shelter, which is pretty dope.
I hope not. I hope it would be a new IP. Like I hope that they're keeping I don't understand. Like when it comes to a new IP though, you want as much press as you
Yeah.
possibly
Yeah,
can.
exactly.
To, like, hype
that
up
would
the
have been
game.
like a E3 announcement or something.
But still, there's like a part of me that's like, what if this is like the whole like mystery box like campaign strategy of like we're not going to show you anything, and then when we release this game, it's going to be something that's like you've not seen before,
Yeah.
especially from our company. Like that would be really
I don't
awesome
know.
to do.
It's kind of weird. It's like they're
Yeah.
pretty much all of their kind of franchises that they have. It's like everything's coming out this year already. So it's like I have no idea what it would be other than some sort of like mobile spin-off like Fallout Shelter.
Sure.
Or, like I said, I thought that was a fun game, so I'd take something like that. And I don't know what else it would be.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. Unless it's like some, like you said, a spin-off mobile or some sort of DLC, I can't imagine a full-fledged new IP. It just
I
doesn't.
know,
it-
I know it's a little far-fetched, but I
Yeah.
want it.
Oh, no,
I think that'd be really
absolutely.
awesome.
It'd
They
be
need to
amazing.
work on like all the other.
we're
Wolfenstein
also,
2 is coming
like,
out as
we're
well.
we're in September now. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what are they going to announce and launch in the next
Well,
3 months?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
VP of marketing at Bethesda, Pete Hines, went on record on a release saying, "We have a ton of stuff going, and we have a game coming out this year that we haven't even told anybody about yet. They can wait; it won't be so long. So we'll probably get very shortly. We'll probably see what all this hype is built around, all this
guess.
secrecy. So
Yeah.
pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
On the other another side from that too is we have talking about DLC and other stuff. Rainbow Six Siege. It's a mouthful. Is getting a new DLC called Blood Orchid. People with the Year 2 Season Pass already got this back in September 6th, but it's introducing 3 new operators to their once was 33 operator character roster.
Yeah.
Now it's 34, and 2 of them are female characters, female operators. One is a Polish counterterrorism unit, and the other one's from the Chinese counterterrorism unit. And like Ella, the Polish one, is like kind of the fan favorite because she's like this OP character with kind of a speedy shotgun style, and she has 4 sticky Gersnot mines that she can like go in
Jesus.
and wreck people with, and then
It just
walk
sounds
back out.
nasty.
Yeah, and then you
Shotgun
have
mines.
Ying, who has candelas, which are flashbang grenades, and she's pretty balanced, but she just goes in there and she's immune to the her own equipment. So she can go in,
nice.
stun everybody. We have Ella come in, run and throw the mines, and
Yeah.
dick out.
And they
Then
dick
they
out.
dick out. Yeah. Yeah, breaking gender roles, man.
Chicks out, dicks out.
No, but the reason I thought this was interesting is like I said before, they have a 34-player roster already for Rainbow Six Siege. This game has been out for about a year or two now. 2 years.
Yeah, has it been 2 years?
Well, it's year 2 for the season pass holders, so.
Yeah. Gosh, it's because that game, I think, no, it couldn't have been 2 years, right?
I honestly don't.
'Cause,
believe
The
I
that.
first
thought it
DLC was back in 2016 in February.
Because I played it right around the same time Overwatch was coming out too. Because I was like, oh man, this is gonna be like my next multiplayer game, and then Overwatch happened.
And done. Well, but yeah, so they have 34 characters at this point through like a whole slew of DLC, and only 8 of those characters, it was 6, but now it's 8 were female, and like they're really trying to bring up, don't make it so gender exclusive in their player roster, and kind of take a note from Overwatch's diversity in their character rosters, and they're trying to bring up. Different ethnicities, different genders, and have everyone a good time and play whatever you want.
That's really cool, man.
No, but it's definitely. I think it's awesome because like that just shows how much like the gaming community and the industry is like starting to evolve, and like be more inclusive and not be so like, bro dude or dude bro
bros.
games. Yeah, hulking masses of man meat shooting people up.
Gone are the days of Gears of War hulking men with giant
Thank God.
chainsaw
That was getting
guns.
old, yeah. Yeah, but like you were telling me just before the show that there's a bunch of other companies that are bringing out DLC with new female characters as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about it when we were first just talking about the Rainbow Six stuff, and I was like, man, September's kind of a good month for female games or female players in games.
Sure.
There you go.
Sure.
Or characters. There you go.
Careful,
words.
does it? Yeah.
But,
We get it.
So, just on September 15th, I guess that Rainbow Six DLC is coming out for everybody. And then there's
Well, a week. It's for the season pass holders, and then a couple of weeks later, it's for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was 15th, right? Isn't
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
what
Is
you
that
said?
the 15th?
Yeah.
My bad. Yes. I just
And
wanted to
then
interrupt you.
the DLC for Dishonored 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
Which you're playing. I can't remember her name in the game. It was Megan or Morgan or something like that.
I'm not sure. I haven't played it yet.
But it's the character played by Alicia Tyler.
She's the voice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
You should
So
I know. I love her. She's super cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
welcome to the Aisha Tyler show.
Yeah.
And then
You need
there's
a new boyfriend or a husband. I got you right here.
Personal masseuse.
and then there's the new Metroid game's coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spoilers, you're a lady under that suit.
What?
Yeah.
Metroid's not a guy? Metroid's not for man?
His name is
This
Mr.
character's not named as a
Metroid.
Metroid?
And what else was there? There's the
Battlefield 1.
Yeah, the In the Name of the Czar. Is that what it was?
In the Name of the Czar.
So, and that's there's like a female scout group
Yeah.
in that. So it's like lots of ladies, and then obviously Uncharted: Lost Legacy came out
Right.
end of
Exactly.
last
Yeah.
month. So
Yeah.
it's like
we're getting a whole slew of different games where have
2017.
female playable characters. That's
Hashtag
great.
respect women.
Yeah, and I think that's also too this may be speculation, but I'm pretty sure I read a couple of articles back when before Breath of the Wild was released, and when we all were kind of speculating oh, from that trailer, Link kind of looks like a woman. He has very female characteristics in the face and stuff. So everyone's like, holy crap, this might be the first game where he's actually a female. But I do remember reading an article that the creators, Iwo Jima, right? Is that what I'm thinking? What's his name? Oh my God, the guy? He's amazing. What's his name?
Miyamoto?
No, man.
Who are you talking about?
the
Zelda.
the head designer.
Yeah, the head designer of Zelda.
Oh.
What's his name again?
Kojima?
No, yes,
Kojima.
Hideo Kojima is
dude,
not
I'm just
taking.
I'm throwing
Either
out
way,
random
he was talking
developers,
about
though.
when they were designing
Aonuma,
Link that they want, huh?
Aonuma?
Yes, Aonuma. That's okay.
Aonuma.
They were talking about designing the character to be more gender ambiguous.
Yeah.
To have a more inclusive audience, and everyone feels
That's
like
cool.
they're playing their own character. Yeah, so it's interesting that people are taking these steps to.
And you get to dress like a lady in that game.
You do.
cross-dress.
You do, yeah.
It's pretty fun.
But then you get thrown out for being a man. I don't like that.
Well,
No.
it's that's the one place out of everywhere. Man, I have a penis. This sucks.
But 2017, year of the lady.
Year of the lady.
Yeah.
Last year was Luigi. This year's the lady.
And also before Doomfist, Overwatch's last two DLC or new characters were Sombra and Orisa, both ladies.
And there might be
Orisa's kind of, she's a robot. So,
voiced by a
robot.
female though.
true.
Robot lady, I
Made by a
guess.
lady.
Made by a lady, voiced by a lady. It's a lady.
It's for ladies.
Get over it, Zach. It's a lady. Deal with it.
It's a robot. No, but and then there's also speculation too that they might be releasing another character for Overwatch. In the new
Junkertown, yeah.
the Queen, and all the posters and the propaganda around the town. They might think that might be a character that will be
Plus
coming
that,
soon too.
I had 4 shows ago when you brought up the maybe possibly leaked character.
Oh, Siren?
It was a chick, yeah.
Is that her name? I think it was
I don't
Siren.
Yeah,
remember.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, another lady.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the ladies.
Ladies.
All the ladies. All the ladies say, hey, oh.
All the ladies.
All right, we'll do it next time. No, I'm just kidding.
All the single ladies.
Yeah, but speaking, Rainbow Six Siege is definitely a huge. It's a very competitive game. It's, in Overwatch won out against for you, but a lot of people kind of put that in the same realm as CS:GO and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's kind of starting to be really built up in the industry right now too is esports. I mean, Blizzard just recently announced that they're opening an arena called the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles over at Burbank Studios.
15 minutes from
CALA, dude. No, but they're, the CEO and co-founder of Blizzard, Mike Morhaime, says that we're at the tipping point for esports, and we look forward to helping usher in a new era of competition-based entertainment. And so they're really pushing this hard. They're opening this new facility that's going to be able to house 450 people to watch these competitions, and they're opening October 7th. And they're kicking it off with the Overwatch competition playoffs.
Nice.
And then following that up later on the 13th with Hearthstone Championship. So that's happening here, and I think that we should go.
We should.
Yeah. We're going to have to look into
Not too
how we
far.
can get into that. Yeah, I mean, we can 10, 15-minute drive.
I know. And are you guys fans of esports? Do you follow that at all?
Yeah, I'm more in the, I love watching Smash competitive games. It's just it's awesome. And but esports in general, outside of I'm not a big fan of Dota 2 and League.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't play them, so it's just I don't have much investment in it. But it's the games I do like playing. Well, first of all, fighting games in general, it's really easy to just watch that and
Yeah. I was gonna say those are
especially
really
if
fun to
yeah,
watch.
it's you'll see the Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or any of
Yeah.
those, and it's just
Awesome.
I mean those matches are just unbelievable. Some of these guys are so good, and it's funny to see somebody championship match, they lose, and then they just like they get so upset.
I mean, it's like any
like,
athlete that loses a championship.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and it's insane that these people like they train, they like get together with like
Yeah.
their groups, especially for Overwatch too, which is a very team-centered game. Like people like get together and they run like strategies and
but
make
it's
sure
like
that people know what's
there's
going on.
leagues, there's teams, there's coaches. I mean,
Yeah.
it's everything. It's everything like. And I was even talking to my mom about this probably like a week ago, and she just like is so confused and baffled how they could possibly like. She's just like, who would want to watch that? I'm like,
I do, Mom.
it's esports. I mean, it's people. It's just like sports is like people want to watch competitive video games, and
Yeah.
it's
impressive that it's grown so quickly, and this used to be just like more of like a streaming, like an online thing, or like a niche thing for like a certain like like BlizzCon and other like events. Like Nintendo used to hold like the World Championship, or they still do. Stuff like that. It used to be more just catered to that fan base of that particular game, but now it's like it's spanning all across. Like you said the other day that back from where you're from in Philly, they're showing what Rocket League on ESPN?
No, not ESPN, but the like you know, like every city has like NBC or ABC News, like that kind of stuff. You know, Philly has what they call Comcast Sportsnet because Comcast is for everywhere, and
It's
they
a
have
monopoly.
they have their own, but they have their own local sports channel, and they started showing Rocket League, like they just started streaming it, and people are watching it, and you know, there's cash prizes and stuff, like a couple $1,000 stuff.
Prizes, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like
money.
they're starting to stream Rocket League, and like this is, you know, schools are offering scholarships for like Overwatch and different games.
That's
here in
insanity.
insane.
I don't understand that because like
mean,
usually
it's
the
like
pro
any
gamers
sport.
that are going into that career, they're making that like their goal. Like they're not going to school. They're not making that a focus because like you can make like upwards of like 5 to 6 figures a year just playing these games and being really good.
Yeah.
So it's like weird that like colleges are offering scholarships for these players that potentially don't.
I mean, it's like any sports player in college. I mean, you
guess
go
it's
there to play the game, and then you get your scholarship, and then when you're done, you play in the big leagues.
Well, yeah, but you go to the college to like progress your career in like starting out in college ball or whether it be baseball, football, or whatever. And you start there, but like you don't need to. There's not an extracurricular activity for Overwatch at colleges,
No,
it's
yeah,
like intramurals and stuff.
But if there is, I need to go back to college because that's just.
But
sweet.
it's also like what else? It's crazy because like now a lot of rich people are investing money into these leagues, and they're buying teams and investing money in the teams playing those games. So like if there's maybe they're trying to develop some sort of minor league system through college or something where if these teams, if that money, that investment pays off and these leagues become something bigger, then you have a place where you can look at people who are like better than others, the minor league, and see who you want to call up to your team and stuff. So I mean, it's basically just following the blueprint for any sports system.
And there must already be enough money there. Like if Blizzard's like putting all this money into Burbank studios and stuff, it's like there's clearly money there.
Yeah,
it's whether or not it's been made yet, or if they just know it's like the demographic is there, the audience is there to make money. It's like we're definitely on that. It's still in its infancy, but I feel like you think about in a few years from now, it's like ESPN is gonna be all over that. It's gonna
Well,
like you can go to a sports bar or something and just Overwatch is on.
Do you really think it's gonna get to that point? Like it's gonna really gonna
eventually.
start.
I really do think so. Yeah. I mean, look at our generation. Our generation is all about video games, and so like things are changing with each generation that passes. It's like because our generation is so invested in the internet, you can see like. Major companies and cable companies are dying, and they're building more streaming services because that's all we do is we consume on the internet. So it's the same thing with video games. I mean, video games, let's say 12 years ago, before YouTube launched and stuff, gaming streaming wasn't a thing. Like,
and now you have like Twitch channels, you have
exactly,
YouTube
like
streaming, like
and
Let's Players.
it's a TV channel. It's basically a new G4. Like it's TV
I never
dedicated
like that,
just to video games. So why isn't it possible? I mean, you've got teenagers who are making tens of thousands of dollars off of these either Call of Duty or Overwatch or League or Dota, and you've got national teams who are sponsored by big time companies. So I mean,
I'm eager to see where it
big.
goes. I think it's going to take a lot longer to get to be more like even somewhere close to like minor league things. Like the esports is starting to grow pretty quickly, but I still think it has like at least 5 to 10 years to do before it gets to be like a more national like renowned thing.
Sure.
It's getting there.
I mean,
though.
I'm not saying it's going to be the NFL.
You are saying that. You're very condescendingly saying that.
No, I mean, you look at like the NBA. It's a global thing. Like everyone in the world, it's huge everywhere. And so, I'm not saying it'll become that, but because of like, again, it all comes back to the internet, and you have to think of this like analytically, where because of the internet, you have people who are invested in certain things, who dedicate their time to a certain thing. So like, that's why video game channels are so big now, because you can dedicate your time to just video game stuff. You can watch the people who you like to stream games with. You can watch people who make funny videos about video games. You can dedicate all your time to that now.
Analytical videos about game design, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So because we have like YouTube and shit where you can like just access whatever you want, you can dedicate your time just to one thing. So why can't this succeed when we live in a world where you can literally watch whatever you want whenever you want?
Tunnel vision.
Like you could just sit here and watch multiplayer forever and ever, and
nothing
else.
You really could. I mean,
Nothing
we have
else.
like 11 episodes, and that's not even counting the Patreon episodes.
Yeah,
Like,
bonus episodes.
Don't mean to brag, but
I'm not bragging. I'm just stating facts.
There's content for the rest of your life as long as you just watch it over.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see. I think it'd be something worth visiting too. Like, I don't know how exclusive like these events, these championships and stuff at the new Blizzard Arena is going to be, or like if they're going to sell tickets, it's going to be free. I don't know what that's going to be.
We'll have to look into that and figure that out.
Yeah,
because it'd be cool to go.
Exactly. And another thing too is like
they're
going to have a merchandise store, like a retail store within the arena itself that like is going to rotate depending on what game they have a competition there for. So I kind of want to get some dope ass Overwatch merch
that'd be
because
awesome,
I'm a super fanboy now. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially if it's sitting like 450 people, it's basically like a giant movie theater.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean you're fitting a good amount.
I bet it's gonna be like this is gonna be a thing that's gonna be big though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be very hard to get into this thing.
Well,
for
I mean,
a while.
Zach, you went to the Smash tournaments before here, right?
It was
What was that like?
It was awesome. I mean, it was at the Staples Center and I mean
Packed house?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it packed?
I mean,
There you
it
go.
was packed.
Yeah.
Like it was
50 or maybe not 50,000.
it's,
50
50
people. 50 people.
so it was
Staples like down the
part
street.
of like that convention center. I think it was whatever hall it was in was like the LA Live hall or whatever that is. Which is basically like it's where E3's they have right there at the Staples Center and the LA Convention Center and all that's like right in the same area. So I think it was in like the LA Live hall, which probably seats, I would assume 500-ish people. That'd be my guess. I'm looking at you guys like but yeah, no idea.
I have no idea.
But yeah, I mean, it was
Take your word for it.
real big. I mean, it was a packed house, and we got these Nintendo reps. They handed out these because in the tournament there were like 8 playable characters, I think. This is before the game actually released, and so there's like Mario and Samus and Kirby and Mega Man and a couple other characters.
Sure.
And so they gave these like cards out with like each of the playable characters on it, so that you could hold up like the character you were like rooting for.
Yeah.
Oh, so you weren't rooting for like a player, you were rooting for whatever character they chose.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
so
cool, yeah.
so
It's a new way of doing that.
people would just be like, "Oh, Mega Man!" And they're just like holding up the card, like it was pretty cool.
That's
awesome. And yeah, I mean, it was a packed house, and I mean, nerd culture, like the people that are into games and comic books and anime and stuff. Like I love that those groups of people, because it's like they're so passionate about it. You got these people like cosplayers, and you don't really see like you're probably not gonna go to like a sports game and you got some guy just dressed up like your favorite football player, just like helmet to toe, like.
Yeah, but they do paint themselves.
Yeah, but
they'll wear their jerseys.
Yeah. But I mean, you see people like crazy Reinhardt outfits on, insane stuff, and like at the Smash Brothers tournament. So I'm so tired today, so my brain is fried.
That's okay.
But, so at the Smash Brothers thing, like Reggie Fils-Aimé showed up, and he's just walking by, he's pretty much a normal dude. He's just the president.
Casual.
He's president of Nintendo, but he's still just at the end of the day he's a businessman,
Yeah.
Just like any other big business. But he's like walking by, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's Reggie!" They surrounded this guy. They're like asking for
And they
autographs.
started to rip off his clothes and limbs and eat his flesh out and retain some of the power.
And he's just like
he's dead now.
He's got a couple like Nintendo employees like helping him like get through the crowd and stuff. He's like kind of waving. He's doing some autographs.
Feeding off the
You would
fans.
think he was like a rock star.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's Reggie," including me. "Oh my God, it's Reggie." But it's just
It was
like
just you.
I followed him to his house.
He was asleep, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Reggie!" He just like wakes up.
But so it's just like one of those things. It's we're getting to this age now where it's just like there's people like that like it's like Mark Cerny, just nerdy computer geeky dude. He created the architecture for PS4. It's like
Sure.
I saw him walking around. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Mark Cerny!" And it's just like. Gee, what a weird world where he just he's just kind of a nerdy dude, like he builds computers and architecture for like the PS4 but I'm just like, "Oh my God, it's Mark Cerny."
and that was the same reaction we had at E3, like that when we went to like the after party and stuff and we met a lot of people. We were just like, "Oh my God," it's like we met IGN guys, we met Sean Layden, we were like, "Oh my God," and they're just they're normal people. They're just like you and me, and they're just like video games.
Outside of like
Exactly,
hardcore gamers, nobody knows who these people are.
No, yeah, you show a picture, like show somebody a picture of Sean Layden, and they're like, who's this white man?
Go fuck yourself. You're like,
Who's this
like-
middle-aged man?
Say, "Oh, he's like the CEO of Sony." Okay, he's a business guy. It's like, yeah, but he's cool.
Makes video games.
he makes all the things I love on a daily basis.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we grew up playing these games. We grew up with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, all that shit.
Yeah.
And as we've gotten older, and we, subconsciously, you inadvertently said it. Like as soon as we found out about it, we were just like, "Oh, I wonder how you get into that. We're gonna have to find out if they like sell tickets or something." And that happens automatically. So it's like these things are gonna work out because we have that reaction. General video game audience is going to have their reaction.
Sure,
It's like,
sure.
oh, I wonder how you get into that.
Well, I mean, also watching Overwatch, like actually really amazing competitive players play that game, it's unfucking real. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
a
awesome.
chess match.
Yeah,
It's like it's
'cause
that
it's-
intellectually designed, and everyone like is on the same wavelength. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's
because
really interesting to watch.
I'm not into like the kind of Call of Duty sort of competitive play and stuff, but
Just 'cause
I
it's
love the
Call of Duty,
games
it's
that.
Call of Duty, that's
Yeah,
why.
but I love the games where you really have to work with your team and use strategy, and I'm sure in high level competitive Call of Duty, I'm sure they do, but
they're
but it's just like
for
you could everybody has a specific role in Overwatch, or I really should probably watch League and stuff for those reasons,
Yeah.
but it's like the games where it's just like a lot more competitive. It's very interesting to see. The teams work together and stuff like that. You'll see it in Smash and like you got the team team of two where they're just they're picking characters to work off of each other, and you can see like just watching the match, like why they're doing what they're doing is to help help the other person.
And just like
whatnot. So
watch
it's
them
like-
too, like actually helps you kind of like develop new strategies in the way. To
Oh,
play.
yeah,
it
for
makes
sure.
you get better as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
and then you
that's-
play your friend who's ungodly, and they kick your ass in a few minutes. Then you realize the only way I'm going to win is by distracting him in the real life and just seeing.
And you still did win.
Whatever. I don't want to bring this bad juju on the show. We're not talking about me. We're talking about esports. But moving on, though.
Let's move it.
Yeah, let's move on down that train. There's a thing that was announced recently by Rockstar Games that they're actually going to be remaking LA Noire. They're going to be releasing that for all consoles, really. Boop. Big deal because, PS4 obviously, came out, PS3 back in the day, came out for 360, so they're obviously going to make remakes for those, for PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, and One X. But it's also coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, now the Switch is getting some, like, serious third-party, attention, like, especially with Skyrim and now with LA Noire. And they're starting to really put a lot of stock into this console. And so, like, first of all, A, have you guys played LA Noire? Were you a big fan of the game when it first released? And B, are you excited for the game's release and potential on the Switch?
You want to go first?
Yeah.
No, at the same time, simultaneously, on both.
Great. Well, no. So when it came out in 2011, I was a big fan of it. It definitely had a couple flaws. Like I think the story was pretty cool up until like towards the end. I think the story sort of falls apart. I think I loved driving around in like 1940s LA, but there wasn't too much to do.
Sure.
So it's like, I think it was one of those things with Rockstar where they felt like it had to be open world, but that game really didn't. It's like,
it didn't give the same kind of freedom that a GTA game would. Like, you weren't allowed to really use your gun. I guess it's probably better to introduce people who may not know what LA Noire is.
Yeah, probably so.
It's supposed to be like, hey, let's talk about this game.
It's a game.
It's developed by Rockstar. It's an overworld game, but it's set in like 1940s in like the seedy underbelly of LA. And you're play as this character who's a veteran, decorated veteran, and now a newly minted detective. And he's going around 1940s LA in this post-war stricken LA and trying to figure out solve these murders that are happening around town, these cases that are actually inspired by real life crimes.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, and so it kind of develops through that, and like one of the biggest gimmicks about this game was that they used a really intricate facial mocap capturing, right?
Yeah, the recognition technology.
Yeah, exactly. To enable to get, and they had real actors, like reputable actors, to come in and try to capture these micro expressions on someone's face, because the whole point of the game is you're trying to interview these people who are possible witnesses or who may have potential information about the crime, and you have to figure out, these other non-playable characters have their own kind of motives, and so you have to figure out like if they're lying to you, if they're telling the truth, who do you believe, and you can tell if you're idealistically the game is showing that it's intuitive enough that you can tell by the way their delivery, the way that their facial expression.
There's a tell.
Exactly. They have a tick in their eye or whatever. And so that was the big deal. It was a huge groundbreaking reason for that game's release. And now it's being released on these newer generation of consoles, especially in native 4K on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Like, they're revamping the whole graphical textures. They're doing much more. They had more wide angles for both games, especially for the Switch. They've got more cinematic and new cutscenes involved. It's going to be a whole new thing.
I heard they're going to have, I think it was like higher fidelity clouds.
Yeah, the clouds lighting. I was like, oh, can't wait.
Ooh, better clouds.
What's that cloud?
You take a break from interviewing and you just like look up and you're like, that one's a bird.
I remember I was playing that on PS3. I was like, these clouds are a little choppy. I don't know. Those faces look good, but that cloud.
I'd like to see that move in 60 frames per second. Yeah, that'd be great.
It needs to be nice and fluid.
Right.
I want some different looking clouds. I want to be, ooh, that's a turtle. That's a turtle right there.
And now for the Switch too, like all games are included with the DLC and the original game that came out. But the Switch specifically has. It's including some of the technology that's in the Switch. So like they're doing a Joy-Con mode, like when you play with just Joy-Cons, they have gyroscope. Intuitive ways to do gyroscopes. You can actually do gesture-based movement to like interact with the non-playable characters, and then when you're in,
beat them instead of just
put them in the finger, And then you have when it's in the portable mode, there's touchscreen capabilities as well, touchscreen controls too. So they're gonna be like maybe you have to like move around and like pick.
I would assume it's just for like the interrogations where you can just click like lie, truth.
I hope that would be really lazy.
Yeah, but it's like
if they're going to put on a new hardware and they're going to really utilize the Switch and make it a different experience. Plus, it's actually $10 more expensive on the Switch than it is on the PS4 and the Xbox One, mainly because of the cartridge that it has to be made at the higher production.
It's been pretty standard with the Switch so far.
Exactly.
Most games have been.
So they're trying to include more content, and if that's the included content that they're adding, it's like, oh, there's new controls, but it's just to pick your dialogue choice. Well, then Rockstar can go fuck themselves. But I don't think that's not their MO. Like, so.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be weird for it to be anything else, really.
Really?
Yeah. What else can it be for? Because there's like.
I'm not the developer. I ask the questions.
From my experience so far, has the Switch really utilized the touchscreen tech for anything
just in a
particular?
Couple and this is mostly like indie games and stuff.
Right.
It's like there are games that like shoot, I can't remember who made Guacamelee. What was that company?
I can't
remember. Whatever their newest game is, it's like a touchscreen only game, and so you can't even play it in docked mode on the Switch. They tried to do some motion control stuff, didn't work. So it's like just a touchscreen game. Sorry, Guacamelee people. I can't remember.
That's the thing. Like a touchscreen is very. I think it's a very fine line where you don't want stuff to be too much like you're covering your screen out at some point with just your hand, but you don't want it to just be like, oh, I think he's lying.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a gimmick. It would be interesting if they used a creative way of implementing that.
You
without
just
it doing.
shake the switch. You're like, tell me the truth.
You headbutt your like the people. You actually use your
punching
face.
the screen.
And they also another mode they're including for the Switch too is they have the HD rumble effect, which that blows my mind how ridiculous like at the E3 presentation or the unveiling they were like, and you can feel if you pretend this was a glass of water, this Joy-Con, you can feel how many ice cubes is in it. It's like I don't give a shit. Like
yeah. Oh god, I remember that. That was weird.
Yeah, I was like,
why
why is that a thing?
But wait until you play LA Noire, and he's like, okay, I want you to tell me all about this crime, but first, I'm thirsty.
Ooh, I can
you know what would be actually kind of awesome?
Oh, there are 4 ice cubes in this glass.
Perfect amount of ice. No, what if like maybe when he's writing in his notepad, you actually feel like the scribbles of the pen on paper? Like I think that'd be kind of
yeah.
Maybe it
stuff
adds
like
a nice
cool.
touch. A nice
Maybe that's the
detail.
motion control and the touchscreen stuff where you just have to take your Switch. You're just literally writing on it with the Joy-Con.
I'd be okay with that. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Have you played LA Noire? We kind of
Yeah. Oh no, it's fine. I mean, it's okay. Like I thought it was kind of boring, just because it's a lot of question asking, and I appreciate the amount of time that went into the whole, the tics that some people have for lying, because
Sure.
they went into like a whole psychological background with what you do normally if you lie. Like you'll look up to your left or something, or you'll shake your or scratch your neck or something.
You'll scream, "I'm lying." At the person.
Yeah. So that kind of work and dedication I always appreciate when you put into a game.
Yeah.
But like you guys said, I don't think it needed to be open world. That aspect of it was kind of lost. I'm like, yeah, this is fine.
It's Rockstar. It's kind of like everyone expects it to be that.
Right.
So
But
it is.
And it was kind of big at the time too. It was.
It was. But yeah, overall, like I didn't mind it. Like the stories were cool. That the fact they were based on real murders, I thought was really cool. But when it comes down to it, I just thought it was a little boring.
Well, how about if they released it on the HTC Vive, that VR headset? How would you feel about it then?
Well, if I had a Vive, I'd be more excited. But that's fine.
Theoretically. Well, they are actually going to, on top of the Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One, they're also bringing this to HTC Vive as well.
But not the full game.
No, this is just 7 of the cases that are from the game, but now adapted to be a more suitable and immersive
That's cool.
VR experience. So that's something that's interesting. I don't know how that's exactly going to work out. I think that game, if any, would be really perfect for a VR experience, since it is more of like an interrogation, personal kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, who doesn't want the option to be able to be like, Nathan said this off camera before we started shooting, but because you have the motion controls, you can like control your hands in the game. But if someone's like lying to you, just go, no. It's so funny.
And then you take your glass of water and you go,
Ooh, these ice cubes.
I don't know why that is so funny. When we said it the first time. But so VR is something that a lot of different companies are trying to test out tentatively because it's starting to grow in popularity. Bethesda's doing their Doom VFR. They're also
VFR?
doing VFR.
virtual.
Well, it's because like the
Virtual fucking reality.
that's literally what it is. I'm not fucking with you.
VFR? What does the F stand for?
Fucking
reality.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like the BFG. That's why they're doing it. Yeah. And then you have, what was the other one? We just said it a minute ago. Not Wolfenstein. It's the other Bethesda game.
Skyrim?
Fallout 4.
They're
doing that,
Skyrim, Fallout.
But they're doing all 3 of those. Skyrim
Exactly.
is Fallout. Is,
Yeah.
So they're doing those VR experiences, and kind of funny, but Reggie Fils-Aimé is throwing shade. We talked about him earlier, the president of Nintendo America, is throwing shade at VR hardcore by saying at Vanity's Entertainment and Tech Summit, he went on record saying, there's a problem with VR. The problem with VR is that there aren't a lot of experiences that are truly fun. Because people were asking them, like, hey, are you going to bring, everyone else is bringing VR to their consoles, are you bringing it to the Switch? And he was like, we don't like to put shitty things in our games. And then we were like, hold on, you also introduced the Wii U. And they was like, okay, you got me.
and you know that.
Yeah, the Virtual Boy. Which I think is like, they're still like, we tried it. But, the thing is that they already actually, a year ago, they filled out a patent for a Switch VR accessory where the Nintendo's president, Tatsumi Kimishima, said on record, if we are able to resolve the issue with playing VR comfortably for long hours, we will support it in one form or another.
Yeah. But it's one of those things like, and this goes for any company where it's like, especially in the tech world, where you're always trying to just create new ideas and just put those patents out there.
Yeah.
So that it's like a lot. I mean, you could just make a lot of money off patent infringement.
Exactly.
So it's like might as well just like, it's just develop that stuff, get a patent for it, see if it works. If it works, great. If not, you kind of move on. It's like Nintendo does a lot of that. Like they have so many patents for like different peripherals and all that kind of stuff. But it's, as of right now, I don't see them doing anything with VR, especially because it's like they love the idea of. This is the big problem with the Virtual Boy. It's like, Nintendo is a big.
Eyes bleed. Like,
big thing with Nintendo is they want people to enjoy a game together, and you can't really do that with VR. Not well, anyways.
Exactly.
You can't put two faces in the helmet.
If you have two VR situations that you can link up
well,
together,
yeah, for sure. But
I've tried that, and that's actually a lot of fun. But it is very impractical.
Yeah, but if you're playing on a TV and somebody walks by, it's like, oh wow, that's an interesting looking game. It's like you can't really do that with VR.
Right.
You can just like
swinging them in the face as you're playing your game.
You just end up messing with that person because he can't see you.
Right.
And just start like kicking them.
Tying shoelaces
yeah,
together.
just really messing.
I think like Nintendo is more focused on like the mobile aspect of video games.
Which and they're doing really well at that
too.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the thing is that I recently saw a video that in Japan they have a fully playable Mario Kart VR experience where they actually like sit you down in a cart that is on like it's I can't remember movement track or whatever, and it actually responds to you as you're driving the car. And one of the things that you have to do in order to get items in the game is you actually like hold up your hand, because all the items are not in boxes anymore. They're suspended on balloons. So you hold up your hand and you grab a shell as you pass by.
And then a Nintendo rep actually puts a turtle shell in your hand, and then you just
really kill people with it. Yeah. And then they give you a glass of water.
It's a weird place.
Well, this cart makes me real thirsty.
I think that they have the potential to do it and bring it to the Switch, but I don't think it's going to be a thing that they bring.
But could you imagine Mario Party VR? That'd be crazy.
I want a good Mario Party. What hasn't happened since like Mario Party 4? Like it's
been a while
ever since.
6 wasn't that bad.
Don't bring that sort of shit here. No, but so would you like to see VR? You would like to see VR for Nintendo at some point?
I don't need it. It's VR is such, like we said before, it's in its infancy right now, and I really don't need it for my, to play, a Mario game in VR. Like, I'd like to do the Mario Kart, like, at an arcade. I think that's really cool.
God, yes.
But again, that goes back to my original argument with VR in general. I think it's more of an arcade experience rather than an at-home thing. So.
Sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, as of right now, it's like, there's no, like, killer games for VR, at least not in my opinion.
There are no fun games, so says Reggie.
Yeah, so I'm just going by what Reggie says. Which
sucks.
I'd like to see him, like, he just put on, like, HTC Vive, and he's playing, like, Job Simulator. Somebody's like, this sucks. I'm out of here.
Fuck this.
Peace. Yeah. Nintendo, let's go.
It's just a posse of people.
Nintendo out.
All right,
Cancel everything VR.
I just truly appreciate that Reggie's just throwing shade. That's to me.
that's
that's
pretty
I mean, it probably
was
wasn't supposed to sound too shady, but
Did he end the conversation like putting sunglasses on, just like? Whew.
he grabbed the
VR
person's
sucks.
microphone and then dropped it and walked away.
and then he got a
Nintendo
glass of
out.
water and just had a big old sip.
Oh my god. Well, that's the show, guys. It's good to finally have everyone back on the couch again. It feels nice. Feels like the show's complete again. I love you guys. It's been nice.
I miss
Don't
Theo.
touch me though. We're not there yet. I'm still on the couch. You guys can't be picky and choosy. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. Always appreciate you guys taking the time on your Thursday afternoon to watch this on YouTube or on our podcast. Also, if you take the time as well to go to our Patreon, that'd be great too, because we have extra videos there every other Friday that we also release a week later, every other Friday here on YouTube for you as well. So. That being said, guys, we'd like to send a special thank you to DJ CUTMAN for the chip music that you heard in the intro. And also, please go ahead and you can follow everything that we talked about. All the links that, to the articles that we've mentioned will be on our Twitter at GoMultiplayered. And also, you can visit our Instagram page where you'll see wacky photos of everybody involved, as well as some badass fan art, too, at our Instagram at GoMultiplayered. You can also find me and my personal on Instagram at Guillermo_Dorado and at Twitter at Masdorado. And you can find Zach Matscanis here at...
You ready for the chime? I know you missed it last
So
week.
excited, dude. I was
So, at Zach Matscanis, ZACKMATZGANIS. Ding.
Oh, dude, that's why he wasn't here last week. He practiced it. He definitely brought it up.
I sat in the mirror for
Stepped it up.
just right over there for 12 hours. So just, and I was like, oh shoot, we shot an episode.
Shit, next week it is. Javier, where can they find you?
At Twitter at MultiplayerHav. And that's it.
Boom.
That's it. Nowhere. Nowhere else.
There it is.
Way to just end strong.
You can find Nathan Redfern. You can find him on Twitter. He gave me the thumbs up. I got it right this week. God. You can find him at Multiplayer Nath, arguably the best handle we have here at Multiplayer. And then we have Mick to the Wood I'm sorry, Mick Wood. We have Mick Wood at Mick to the Wood, Instagram and Twitter. I spoiled it. I spoiled your handle before I even got to the name.
Terrible.
Is that okay? Okay, good. He's shaking.
Are you talking about Mick Redfield?
That didn't happen.
Nick Redfield.
So guys, thank you so much. Remember, we'll be back with you next week, so keep on grinding, and we'll see you at the respawn.
Later.
We love you. Sensual.
On behalf of Multiplayer, Mario would like to send a special thank you to Jaden Lawrence, Arturo Mendera, Mercedan Kroll Pitaru, and Mario Dorado. Thank you so much for watching.